Find out what's brewing, it's fresh and it's bold. XCH.COFFEE, let the stories unfold. Morning buzz hits hard, keeps you controlled. On the Chia wave, riding like gold.
Ever wonder what connects a childhood spent coding to, like, revolutionizing file sharing? And then, on top of that, taking on the wild world of cryptocurrency.
Yeah, it's quite a story.
Buckle up, because today we're going deep on this one. The fascinating journey of Bram Cohen,
Right.
the mind behind BitTorrent,
The one and only.
as he sets his sights on a greener crypto future with Chia Network. We've got Wikipedia entries, articles on blockchain's evolution, and even a recent interview with Cohen himself to guide our exploration.
It's interesting you use the word journey, because with Cohen, it really has been this, like, winding path.
Right.
Marked by a relentless curiosity and a drive to solve problems that most people wouldn't even think to tackle.
Okay, so let's rewind to the beginning.
All right, back to the beginning.
Picture a young Bram, just 5 years old, on the Upper West Side, already dabbling in BASIC on a Timex Sinclair.
Wow.
Talk about an early start.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. But Cohen took a detour, dropping out of SUNY Buffalo to dive headfirst into the wild west of early .com companies.
And one of those companies, Mojo Nation, would prove to be a pivotal turning point.
This is where it all begins.
This is where the seed for BitTorrent was planted.
The seed.
They were grappling with this challenge of secure file sharing. The idea was to break files into encrypted chunks, scattered across multiple computers. To download, you'd need to connect to several sources at once.
You can already see the early threads of what would become BitTorrent.
Totally.
Cohen recognized that traditional file sharing methods were clunky and inefficient, especially for large files.
A huge bottleneck.
Downloading from a single source created a bottleneck.
Exactly. Enter BitTorrent, stage left, Cohen's elegant solution to this problem.
It changed everything.
Instead of relying on a single source, BitTorrent tapped into the collective power of its users. The more people downloaded a file, the more sources became available, actually speeding up the download for everyone.
It was genius, really. This decentralized approach solved the bandwidth problem and catapulted BitTorrent to global popularity, especially for sharing large files like movies and music.
But Cohen's story, much like his code, doesn't follow a linear path. He actually had a brief stint at Valve, the video game company, working on their digital distribution platform, Steam.
A logical next step, given his experience with peer-to-peer technology. But here's where his journey takes a fascinating turn. Around 2014, Cohen dove deep into the world of Bitcoin.
And those hashtag Bitcoin Wizards IRC chats from that time give us this incredible window into his early thinking. We see his initial skepticism towards Bitcoin and the seeds of his vision for a different kind of cryptocurrency.
We'll be right back.
Wake up to a brand new day. Find out what's brewing in a special way. On the Chia blockchain, news pour fast. Grab your coffee, let's make it last. XCH.COFFEE starts the morning.
In one of those hashtag Bitcoin Wizard chats, he says, and I quote, "What you need is a proof of storage, because storage is vastly more commodity than even memory is. There's basically no way to optimize it more than is already done, and there's lots of it always sitting out there depreciating." That right there is a light bulb moment.
Wow, so he's looking at all this unused storage capacity, sitting idle in computers around the world, and seeing this massive untapped resource.
Exactly.
It's like he's thinking, like, why are we wasting all this energy on complex computations when we could be doing something much more elegant and efficient?
Precisely.
Right.
And it wasn't just about efficiency.
Right.
Cohen also believed that relying on specialized hardware for mining, like Bitcoin's ASICs, would inevitably lead to centralization.
Right, because only a handful of companies manufacture those specialized chips.
Yeah.
And those with access to the cheapest energy would have a significant advantage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He envisioned a system where anyone with a hard drive could participate in securing the network.
Right.
Not just a select few with the resources to buy expensive equipment and secure cheap electricity.
And this difference of opinion led to those fascinating debates with Adam Back,
Oh, yeah.
a prominent figure in the Bitcoin world.
Huge.
They went head-to-head over this idea of leveraging existing hardware versus relying on specialized mining equipment.
Those debates really highlight the tension that often exists at the forefront of innovation, those moments where different visions for the future collide.
Right. And in this case, it's a clash between two fundamentally different approaches to blockchain technology. On one hand, you have the energy-intensive but proven proof-of-work model championed by Bitcoin.
Right.
And on the other, you have Cohen's vision for a more sustainable, more decentralized approach with proof of space. So even back in 2014, years before Chia Network was officially founded, he was already laying the groundwork for what would become his next big thing.
Absolutely. Those early conversations provide a glimpse into the genesis of his ideas about proof of space and time. He even discussed proofs of sequential work, aka proofs of time, which foreshadowed the role of Time Lords in the Chia blockchain.
It's amazing how these groundbreaking ideas often simmer and evolve through years of exploration, debate, and a healthy dose of disagreement.
Yeah, it's
not always a straight line.
No.
From aha moment to world-changing innovation.
Definitely not. Innovation is rarely a solo act. But, all this being said, there's one question that follows Cohen around that we kind of have to address.
Oh, come on. You're not going to bring up... You don't actually think he's...
We can't talk about Bram Cohen without at least mentioning the Satoshi Nakamoto theory.
All right, fine. But for the record, it sounds crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
But you did include that article laying out the whole thing, so spill it. What's the evidence that our boy Bram might secretly be the anonymous creator of Bitcoin?
Well, it's all circumstantial, right? Like, Cohen deleted some of his tweets from around the time Satoshi went silent. Plus, there's similarities in their writing styles, the way they both just dive deep into cryptography, peer-to-peer networks, and obviously the whole decentralization thing is huge for both of them.
So basically, we've got a tech mystery on our hands. I mean, even if it's just a theory, it's pretty cool to think about. But let's say for a second that he is Satoshi. What would that even mean? Why create something so groundbreaking and then just disappear?
Right. It's the question, isn't it? Some people say it was all about the tech, a proof of concept. Others think maybe he wanted to stay anonymous for privacy reasons. And then there's the whole idea that it was a statement against the traditional financial system, which he's been pretty vocal about.
Yeah. I mean, whether he's Satoshi or not, the fact that he's even in the conversation says something. He's not just building tech. He wants to change the world. And speaking of, we haven't even gotten to his vision for the future. This isn't just about cryptocurrency, right? He said he wants to, revolutionize finance.
Oh, totally. He looks at Wall Street, the whole system, and sees it as rigged, inefficient. Like, why are international transfers so expensive? Why are we paying these insane fees for basic financial services? He thinks we can do better, that decentralized systems are the key.
Okay, so less Wall Street, more. Give me the Cohen vision board here.
Imagine a world where we're not at the mercy of banks, payment processors, these giant institutions. We could create our own secure escrow services, digital wallets with built-in security features to prevent theft. It's about putting the power back in the hands of individuals.
It's a pretty radical shift. But you mentioned payments earlier. That seems to be a big one for him.
Huge. He hates those credit card processing fees, thinks they're ridiculous, wants to see a system where merchants and customers keep more of their money, where those profits aren't just going to middlemen.
I mean, can you blame him? It's crazy how much these companies make just by facilitating transactions.
Exactly. And Cohen believes public key cryptography is the answer. Direct, secure payments, no need for Visa or MasterCard taking their cut. Of course, there are hurdles like ensuring liquidity, preventing fraud, but he sees those as solvable problems. It's about shifting the mindset, saying we can build something better.
It's that whole challenge the status quo thing again. He's not afraid to ask, why not?
Exactly. Whether you agree with his methods or not, you have to admire that about him. He makes you question everything, think about what's possible. And honestly, that's what this whole deep dive has been about, right? Taking a closer look, challenging our own assumptions.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap things up. It's been a wild ride through the world of Bram Cohen.
So to everyone listening, we want to hear from you. What's your takeaway from Bram Cohen's journey? Does his vision of a more decentralized world resonate with you? And most importantly, what problem in your life would you love to solve if you had the chance to create something as groundbreaking as BitTorrent or Chia? Let us know, because your big idea might be the next revolution waiting to happen.
That's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Keep those creative sparks flying, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
See you next time.